Gamesthetic, episode 208. I'm Alex Live Spark 3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're listening or watching the show. We appreciate you, as always. I got both the boys here with me. Zach, buddy, friendo, how you doing?
Question of the week, what are we talking about?
That's a great question. I have the answers. But first, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. How about you, John? How are you?
It wasn't me asking the question this time. I just pulled it up and looked at it a couple minutes ago.
I know one thing we're going to talk about.
I had a decent idea. I saw a lot of these news stories during the week.
I saw Jack All.
Yeah, so it's a mosh posh full of stuff today, but we do have a couple games to talk about.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
been a fun weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of Monster Hunter this week for me.
yeah. Still getting my Marvel Rivals grind in, so shout out to that.
That
But
time is over.
no, it is not.
That time is over. You play with us now.
I was about to say,
you guys now.
my week up until today was a lot of just daily logins to Zenless and Star Rail, and then actually playing through Tribe 9, which I got to say, it gets wild. The XP
Not
games are
surprising.
wild.
Not surprising.
There's currently ranked match XP games where we can play against other players.
Right.
That's been really entertaining.
Right. I'm not.
I know you've talked about that a lot recently. Like Tribe, I forget about it constantly, and then I look over, I'm like, the fuck is Tribe? Oh, that's his game.
Yeah. That's that one game that it's, again, if you had no context what it was, you wouldn't look at the Steam page, you would really have no context what it is. It shows so many
Exactly.
different images.
Because it's been funny. Like my Steam list for like the last week has just been like Monster Hunter Wilds and then a little bit of Split Fiction in there now.
Right.
And then my ass at the
Tribe
bottom.
9.
Yeah, and Tribe 9. Yeah.
It's like, man, there's this one odd guy. It's Zach that makes sense.
Okay. It all lines up. Now, I will be chatting about Split Fiction. I have been playing that, having a good time with it. And then we'll also be talking about FragPunk, if anyone missed that, because it came out the same day as Split Fiction. So we're going to chat about FragPunk. It's actually pretty fun.
The one time a hero shooter type game comes out that I was actually
here for it.
like looking forward to.
Yeah. And then we just have other various news pieces to chat about, including one that's been kind of a talking point it's been a talking point over the past few weeks, but especially this week, it's really gotten kind of ramped up, and that is the end of physical gaming coming soon? Because that is very quite possible, as well as just other random things throughout the week. So make sure to check out Rogue Energy and Agent Inc. and Sparky3Shop.com, all with the links down below. Promo code Sparky3 at Agent Inc. We'll make sure to shout those out more later on, as well as check out the Patreon if you want to support us further. Shout out to Hannah, our Tier 2 patron. We appreciate you. All right, music's down. And join the Discord. Be a friend, tell a friend. Boys, anything that we want to chat about before we jump into stuff?
I did discover a game that's slightly interesting called Beast Begone.
Okay.
It is a 4-player co-op game, which has microphone tracking, because the concept of the game is you're trying to escape these monsters in this ever-changing spooky house, and the louder you scream into your mic and the louder you are, the faster you run. So
That's a concept.
now you can escape. If you should get caught, instead of being immediately killed, you are still first to fight off said monsters and continue screaming while doing that.
It's called Beast Begone.
Beast Begone. It is on Steam.
All right, hold on. That sounds really interesting.
And it's a whole thing of where you get through the level. If you manage to get through the level, and someone is considered one of the things it said was if you're someone has a master screamer, it's going to make the next level harder with more monsters and more obstacles. And ideally, you keep screaming.
Okay, Beast Begone or Begone Beast?
I may have got it backwards. Maybe Begone
Okay,
Beast.
all right. If it's Begone Beast, I found it. Early access?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Since February.
All right, I see it. Yeah, I got it on the wish list because it sounds really interesting.
If you watch the trailer, it should just be a bunch of 4 idiots running around.
Yeah.
And because it makes
Is
visuals.
that right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry, I was confused by, the screen,
all
the
right.
kitchen screenshot.
Yeah. All right, shout out. Beyond Beast, you can wishlist it now on Steam, so make sure to check it out. It looks interesting. Sounds interesting. That's an interesting concept.
Interesting concept. Nope.
Not for
John, you'd be perfect for it.
No, because
You
my
would be
natural
perfect for it.
instinct in any game that has like sound, like sensitivity in it, is to just never make a sound.
But in this game, John, you can let it all out.
You guys saw me when we tried to, what was it, like Demonologist or something?
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
I mean, yeah, you guys were like hamming it up, trying to have a good time with it. I was stone cold silent, focused, trying to just not be anywhere near.
I don't know. By the end, you were getting into it a little, not a lot, but
I was like, man, I've spent like 40 minutes silent, just hiding. I should probably do something.
I want to shout out to Demonologist because also, if you're new to the channel, we do have a video of us playing Demonologist. You should go watch it because that was a really fun video to edit. Besides you, Zach, unfortunately,
I gotta update my system.
Your video was destroyed.
Yeah, it was
atrocious.
So
I really had to handpick your moments.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was so funny listening to John's video.
Yeah,
just like going through it and just seeing John. Fuck. What the fuck?
That is the only sound that I made.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
whisper
you guys,
under the breath.
It's just like me sitting there because I'm like, that's just how I am. I'm like, it games like that. I'm like, I don't want to make a sound in case something happens. And like, I get scared. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or I like hear you guys. I'm like, or like hear one of y'all get like attacked or something. I'm like, I'm not fucking going that way. I'm leaving here. I'm gonna look at that fucking camera and see what happened.
Oh man, that's funny. No, that was fun. That was a fun game. I enjoy that game. I don't think I have anything substantial to add to my Marvel Rivals weekly update. I got back up to Diamond 2. It's been a climb. God bless. God bless. Did you guys see that new game mode that they came out to it?
No.
Oh, dude, I haven't got to play it yet, but it's where you can all pick the same hero.
Okay.
And I just saw one clip that just made me die laughing of where everyone had Iron Fist. And, dude, just come into the middle of this arena, and it's just the most furious punching.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I can already see that.
I can't wait to see some of these matchups, man. It looks great. I did have one ranked game earlier where...
Wait, so is that like anybody can pick any hero, but you can pick the same? Or,
Yeah,
does it force you to pick the same?
So that's where I actually think you're all forced to pick the same.
Okay,
I'm going to have to go review it.
That would be more interesting.
Yeah, see, that's what I think too.
Because League used to have a mode
I was going to
like
say,
that.
as much as I don't want to bring up League has some great game modes like that. Like they have One for All. They have their other game modes like, like what was it? Earth and that. But yeah, One for All is like everyone on your team votes at the start of the game. Everybody gets forced out of the same character, and the enemy team is all playing one character that they all picked.
Right.
And it's some of the most chaotic fun from back in the day playing it.
Yeah, which is what I'm looking forward to with that Marvel Rivals game mode because I'm hoping it's going to be we are all forced to play the same character because I want to see the mayhem of that. That sounds incredible.
You just want to see a game full of Spider-Man.
Oh, please God, no. No, I do not want to see that. I'm bad at Spider-Man. I do not want to see that.
Yeah, but all the one tricks.
There were like that one guy. Jesus Christ. I finally got Rocket to Lord. It's my first Lord because I've been kind of off Rocket for a while, playing like Luna and some other characters, Strange, Groot, a couple damage.
Trying to stop being a heal bot.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop just being Rocket and do other things. So I finally got back on Rocket today, and I got up to Lord. So it's my first Lord. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I did have a game of Pride earlier, and I did win the game of Pride where it was Rocket. I was Rocket, and it all game since the moment we came out the damn door. Black Panther and Captain America wanted me dead.
Because you're the backline.
All game. They didn't kill me one time. It was a matter of pride. Because it was funny. There at the end, we were at the very end of the game playing defense. Christina came in, and I was like, please don't move. It's like, I am focused. Because all game, I'm getting solo ulted by Cap of him just trying to kill me. Black Panther multiple times solo ulting me, trying to kill me. But it was a matter of pride. They did not kill me. I was very happy about that. I had one death, and I was doing my own miscalculation. It was Thor was coming up on me, and I thought I was going to be able to kill Thor because Rocket can shred tanks.
What was their team if they're walking Thor, Captain, and Black Panther?
Thor, Captain, Black Panther. Who was their healers? Loki, maybe.
Nice Loki. Probably Luna.
I think Iron Man was in there too. I think it was Luna. I think Luna was their other support. So
I mean, Luna, Cloak and Dagger, and Invisible Woman are standard.
I think that was their team. We had Magneto, we had Groot, myself, we had Invisible Woman. I don't remember our damages.
Yeah, y'all shouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah, no, we won.
Cool.
Yeah, no, we won.
Just based on matchup, y'all should have won that.
Yeah, we won. But like I said, it was a matter of pride. Did not let them kill me the entire time. I was a slippery little bastard. So shout out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I just been playing a lot of Monster Hunter this week.
oh yeah, how's that going?
It's like finished up like all of the story now. Like last week, I had finished up the main story and gotten into high rank. Finished with like the high rank story now, and just on the adventure of like just go on hunts, like kill everything a bunch of times, get all the materials so I can craft because like I still don't have a build put together for my hammer. Didn't really know what I wanted. I'm starting to kind of piece one together now, but just a lot of fun learning how to play the hammer on because I've never touched it before. But yeah, a lot of fun learning how to bonk stuff.
I never asked whenever we first talked about, are you more light armor or the heavy armor? The style.
Style-wise, I've always been a bigger fan of light armor.
Okay.
Like almost universally in any game, I'm always more of a fan of light armor.
Yeah,
or
me
like
too.
the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put together like a kind of a coordinated theme
Yeah.
with my look now. Not there yet.
Not just looking like a hobo.
Mix and
it was
matching.
one of those where like this morning I logged in. The first thing I did was, man, I gotta fix how I look because I had like put 2 pieces on like the head and the hands I made to like start putting something together, and then the rest of it was just whatever I could put on after any given hunt. And I was like, I put that on earlier. I'll just run with that until I start putting something together. I had a weird get up going. But yeah, I've fought most everything there is to offer. I haven't fought like the tempered version of all of the Apexes yet. I've fought some of them. And I've fought everything besides like the tempered Apex versions, which the tempered versions are just essentially like juiced up versions of the high rank monsters. But yeah, it's like getting there. It's like it's starting to work on like putting an actual build together to go like into farming phase. But yeah, it's been fun because like one of the best parts of Monster Hunter is like, especially when you pick a new weapon, is like watching your hunt times just dramatically shrink as your gear gets better and you get better with the weapon. So it's been fun seeing that happen.
Nice. She's been still playing a decent amount of Monster Hunter, but she's also, jumping back into Stardew. Just randomly, God, I want to play Stardew. It's like, what about Monster Hunter? It's like, I gotta go play Stardew. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Regardless, she's farming either way.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's just different types.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine last night about Monster Hunter because he started playing like the day after I did, and like on Sunday last week, I had like 17 or 18 hours or something.
Yeah.
When I got home the next day, he had like 28 hours or something. I was like, God damn, dude, did you sleep? I was like, you must have just played it like constantly. So I've been trying to catch up to where he's at.
Yeah.
Slowly getting there.
Right.
But yeah, gotta keep playing. Gotta keep just hunting stuff. They got I think they have like the next month's worth of event quests lined up. So the event quests are like, I think all of them are lasting a week. So you have a week to kind of get in. It's just a repeatable quest that you can do over and over again for specific rewards. So I'll be hopping in and trying to knock some of those out too. At least do them a few times.
Yeah. Shut up. All right. I guess jump into some Split Fiction. So yeah, got Split Fiction, and the wait was worth it. It was a short wait. Revealed in December.
All I can think
it's
is
been fantastic.
Hazellight, and just throw out another one because I checked and immediately it was just overwhelmingly positive. Like,
Yep.
Hazellight's set in stone currently.
Yeah, Hazelight does their thing, man.
Yeah, I looked at a few reviews
Or
like
Hazelight, sorry.
right after it came out. Steam, yeah, it was like I think it was like 94% overwhelmingly positive when I first looked at it, and then it's like I saw some articles that were like, Hazelight is once again just proven they are at the top of the chain right there.
For couch co-op.
Like nobody's taking that crown off them
Yeah.
anytime soon.
No, Hazelight has really reached that same level of it's like the moment you see they're putting out a game, go ahead and assume it's gonna be good. They've reached kind of that status, right?
Yeah.
That's like when at the Game Awards when they started showing it off.
Yep.
There's a reason why the dude came out so cocky.
Oh yeah, he knew what he had. He knew what he had. He knew what it was. And he nailed it. It was right.
I can only imagine when he's going to come out next time he's here to announce a game.
Yeah, I know what he's going to do next time. Now, I will say, just because of like how stacked this year of gaming is, I'm not going to sit here and say this thing is a Game of the Year lock, but it's 100% get nominated.
Oh, most definitely.
100%. I mean, this is a stacked year of gaming, and if things go on schedule and GTA does come out, we all know it's probably going to win. That's the downside. But this is 100% a nominee. 100% a nominee.
I mean, GTA 6, it may come out, but we're assuming GTA 6 is going to do well. It could do well. It could do mediocre. Going to be honest. Hazelight's pretty strong.
Hazelight is strong.
Also, not all of us are convinced that even if it comes out, it's winning Game of the Year.
That's true. That's true.
Because, GTA 6 has a fan base, but Hazelight, the fractured split fiction, probably has GTA 6 fans plus a large other majority of other genre fans.
Yeah. The problem is, like, GTA is a juggernaut. It is in its own category in the gaming sphere. But I think most of that is all just like, or a large majority of that is like the casual fan. Like Hazelight, they have one of the most dedicated followings because like Hazelight has only put out good games.
Right. And it's put out games for the people. You know what I mean?
And GTA is one of those games. It's like, yeah, the base game of it is probably going to be really good.
The story will probably be fairly good.
It's like, yeah, the story will probably be really good. Single player will probably be really good. But GTA has always been a game that thrives off of its longevity. Mm. It's not one where it's like gonna be necessary. I mean, it's gonna break all the records when it comes out. For selling the game. But it doesn't mean it's going to be the best game of the year.
It's going to probably it's the one game that's going to come out that could,
most definitely.
It's a game that could come out and actually have a legitimate chance to beat the concurrent Steam record. Like it's one that could,
I can almost guarantee it will.
Yeah, I think that it's going to shatter it like 100%. But no, with Split Fiction, I mean, it has been overwhelmingly positive. It did come in at 91 on Metacritic right now, and it did hit over 250K. Concurrent on Steam, which is a new record for Hazelight, shattering It Takes Two. It Takes Two only hit around like 80K. So, man, everything that Joseph described about this game is going to be a wild fucking ride, that is accurate. Like, just the amount of varying gameplay, everything that was in It Takes Two is just amplified by like 7 million. Like, of just the amount of shit that takes place and the amount of shit that happens. The core premise of the game is pretty interesting, where it features our two main protagonists, Zoe and Mio, who are unpublished writers who have this potential publishing deal where they come to, I think the company name is it might be Radar, because I know that's like the main quote unquote antagonist, where you get into the simulation and basically your story gets played out in this simulation, right? So our two main characters, as well as some other characters, come in and they all get into these little pod things, whatever. And Mio kind of freaks out. It's just like, no, I don't want to do this. Never mind. Like, she was like gonna be the last one to get sucked, put in a little bubble, and kind of gets into like a little bit of a scruffle, and then falls into Zoe's pod, and that's how that happens. And then once they fall into the pod, you get to pick your characters. That's when you see Zoe in her fantasy world, and Mio comes in via the glitch. And then steadily but surely, like within just like the first like hour or two of the game, you quickly come to discover the real purpose of everything that's happening is trying to steal their ideas, whether if it's the one that you come in like thinking to publish or ones they've never even told anyone about.
How early is that discovery? Because
like literally less than an hour.
Okay, cool. Because Hazelight games are very narrative based, still new. Probably don't want to spoil too much.
No, like you literally within the first like act of the game, you're finding that out.
Which actually I think that's fun anyways, because I think Joseph said that on the stage as well.
Yeah, I think that is part of like the whole premise that's already kind of out there, is that idea is being stolen. Because like you see very quickly, like with some other areas that you go to where it'd be like Zoe's just like, yeah, this is one of my ideas, but like I wasn't here for this one because it was quickly. I was like, oh yeah, that was one of my ideas, and Mia was like, what do you mean one? We only submitted one. And then they just quickly come like, wait, yeah, this is one of my ideas, but I've never done anything with this, whatever. And that's all the different varying levels of the game. It's just different ideas that both these characters have had and just going through the separate levels and everything. And they are wild.
I was going to say.
They are
like,
wild.
I haven't played the game yet. I haven't really seen anything from it besides like trailers and stuff I've seen. But like one of my buddies has been playing it on Steam with somebody. So it's like I just see like him playing it, and all it does is just list the level name that they're on, and I'll every now and then I'll just look over and read it and go, "What the fuck is he doing in that game?"
Yeah, dude, facts. So like a good example of that, right, is like you go on what Mio and Zoe are calling side stories, where it's like this little glitch bubble will pop up while you're in the main act of one of the two characters' stories. And basically, at least the trend has been for these first two major acts is like, so first major act, you are in like one of Mio's worlds, so like sci-fi, cyberpunk, whatever. And act two that me and Christina are in right now is the fantasy one. So it's like with cyberpunk one, the two side stories we did, they were more fantasy themed, and it's the same thing now in the fantasy one. The two we've done is more like sci-fi themed, right? So like the first one we did, I think it was the first one, for the side story, you know, we're going through this epic cyberpunk sci-fi adventure, whatever, and all of a sudden we go through this side story and we're pigs. And each pig has a different ability. Her pig is like a slinky pig, so it's like, you know, she can slink up, and whenever she unslinks it, the butt comes up, so it allows her to get to tall places. And of course, you guys know me, so let me go ahead and throw this out here for the show too. Very on brand for me. My pig farts and flies everywhere. So I was like, that's on brand for me. Shout out, I guess. And man, that whole story, dude, hit you with the ultimate plot twist of that little side story you're going through, and Zoe's just like, oh, I wrote this when I was a little kid, whatever. It's like, that's why it's so stupid. You're going through, you're collecting all these apples for these farm doors to open. The farm doors are alive. It's like, oh, I love apples. So you get the apples to open the doors. You're getting through it. You're going through, having a great time. You come over this ledge thing, straight to a meat grinder. You both go straight to the meat grinder. You come out, and now I'm a hot dog. Now you are a rolling around hot dog where you have to decorate your hot dog, get on a bun, get mustard and ketchup on you. Dude, like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, it sounds like a story a 10-year-old would write.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
It's a fever dream.
It is 100% a fever dream. I mean, some like, and just the varying gameplay elements, man. And like I said, like Hazelight's completely outdone themselves in every way, right? So like a lot of the major element for the entire Act 1 and like the sci-fi cyberpunk city was like a lot of gravity based stuff. So like, you know, with Mio, who I'm playing, I had like where the story is we're cyber ninjas seeking revenge is the whole premise of this story we're in. And, you know, so I've got a sword and I've got gravity abilities. So like there's different points that I can latch onto, which then shifts the entire screen. So it's like constantly as we're going through, the screen is constantly shifting for me and Christina both, just depending on as we get step to step. Because like while I'm up at like this angle on the wall and Christina's coming this way, like I have to do something which allows her to do this, and the whole thing flips. And there's different points where like we're running on a ladder, but we're both running on the opposite sides of it. It's just super interesting. Like in her case, she had like electric whip, whatever, that she can grab stuff and throw everything and like open different doors. And it's so fascinating, just everything that was taking place through the entire Act 1 of the game. We had the trademark Akira pose on a motorcycle, so shout out to that. We did get to go through some bike stuff. That was a lot of fun. Got to pilot some ships throughout this whole first part. Of course, in true Hazelight fashion, there's some bullshit little stop and have fun moments where we're at a pool and you could go down the water slides and just have a dumb little fun time. In the part 2, there's seesaws that you can hop on, just dumb little stuff like that. And then like for the act 2 that we're in, being the more fantasy world, we are shapeshifters. So for her, she can shapeshift into a little fairy, and there's really no other way to describe it. Like he even looks like it. Like she shapeshifts in like Groot. Like that's the best. It's Groot, 100%. You can tell it's inspired by Groot. So she can do like different nature abilities. And meanwhile, again, on brand for me, I'm a monkey. So shout out to that. So I can like climb on different stuff, smash stuff, as well as like a little otter that I can swim through water. And just the gameplay elements throughout that are super fascinating because we reached a part just earlier where Christina, like with her Groot ability, went to like this thing on the ground, infused the power into it, and she became the world. So the split screen went away. I'm the only one on screen, and she is controlling everything in the world that's taking place, like moving different platforms for me, moving different things for me as I just traverse through this entire level. Like it's super fascinating. One of the side stories we went in was a lot of fun, where it was like it was a cyberpunk game show with a bomb, and we had to constantly go through all these different obstacles while throwing the bomb back and forth to each other throughout the entire thing before, like, if we held onto the bomb too long, it would explode. I mean, like, man, just everything that we've done just through the first 2 acts has been like every single step, every few minutes, the gameplay is changing in some capacity. While the core mechanics will stay the same throughout the act, you know, the shape shifting, the me with the sword and the gravity stuff and her with the whip, like the core thing is staying the same, right? But it's like every single turn after just a few minutes, your gameplay is constantly evolving and constantly changing. To a higher degree than It Takes Two ever did. And that's a massive compliment because It Takes Two is incredible. Like, I'm not taking anything away from It Takes Two. I'm trying to give to Split Fiction. Now, the one area that I say that Split Fiction kind of falls short just a little bit would be the narrative. I think It Takes Two is a more gripping narrative right out of the gate.
Probably.
But again, that's not taking anything away from Split Fiction. Split Fiction's narrative is very good. In terms of Hazelight, It Takes Two is like the masterpiece of their narrative. Split Fiction is their masterpiece of gameplay.
I'm gonna be honest. In terms of just like the base stories of all 3 Hazelight games, It Takes Two is probably the one that people are more naturally able to associate with, just because it is a story of 2 parents with a sort of disjointed relationship and who still care for their daughter, and then the whole thing with the daughter caring for them and yada yada yada, family trauma and stuff like that. Versus Split Fiction is more or less a thing of unsuccessful writers, their stories, and just being able to experience them. And then A Way Out is completely not really relatable to a lot of people, since it's 2 inmates trying to escape prison and take care of something they need to do outside of prison.
Yeah.
So I think out of the stories, based on how I know of them, It Takes Two is probably the most relatable for the general audience.
It is, yeah. Because that's one of those easy games to like just kind of hop into with like your significant other. It's like if you have a significant other that doesn't like playing games, like that's one that they can even play.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes it more relatable for a lot of people. And that's what makes it, like, I think just the general narrative of the entire game makes it more gripping. I'm not taking anything away from Split Fiction. The narrative has been very good, and as well as the characters and how they've been evolving, where, you know, Zoe is, you know, she is like very bubbly, and she is acknowledging the severity of the situation and wanting to obviously get out, but she's also like enjoying the ride. You know what I mean? She's enjoying the ride as they go. It's like, oh, let's have while we're here, let's have fun, kind of thing, and tries to tell stories, whatever. You know, so basically kind of provide context for, like, as you enter one of her stories, like, oh, let me try to explain the context. And Mio is just like, I don't fucking care. You don't have to explain it to me. I want to get out. She's very much, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here, and doesn't really care to like be a friend, you know, doesn't really care to hear this context. And like, we just finally hit a point just earlier where like Mio's like character is starting to evolve, where she's like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, let me hear the context of this. You know, so there's different layers to it. Just watching the 2 characters evolve, because they're both evolving in different ways. And then again, we're only through the first 2. You know, we're only on it basically what I'm calling Act 2 of the game. I don't know how many acts there are, but I know it's like a 10 to 12 hour game, so probably 3 to 4. You know, that'd be my guess. But no, like I said, gameplay wise, like, I really do firmly believe this is like Hazelight's masterpiece. While narrative wise, I think their masterpiece is still It Takes Two. But Split Fiction is, I mean, it is incredible. It really is. Like it's worth the pick up. You know, grab a friend, or if you have no friends, go join the Hazelight Discord. Hazelight's been promoting that. Like join the Discord, you can get someone to play with, whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to that.
Probably even some from the dev team.
Yeah, probably. But no, I mean, it is worth all of the hype. 100% tenfold. The gameplay alone will just blow you away with just how innovative it is and just all the different elements to it. Just going through. I mean, at every turn, I've just continued to get more shocked. Where it's just like, okay, yeah, this is really cool. Okay, yeah, that was really cool. That's really cool. Where it's like we're talking nonstop. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I think this is my new favorite part of the game. This is a lot of fun. Or it's like that's a lot of fun. Like it's just with how much it changes, it blows me away with just the level of detail that has gone into it. In so many different capacities. So like again, I cannot recommend this game enough. It is a Game of the Year contender. It's a Game of the Year nominee. I'll go ahead and lock that in right now. It is a Game of the Year nominee. Especially just also knowing, just the hype around Joseph and Hazelight and what they bring to the table. It's going to be a nominee. It's going to be a contender. It's one of the best games of this year for sure, and I think it's going to stay that way for the rest of the year.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, Hazelight's just a continuing show of just how much the industry does need more split screen games like it. Because I mean, even though you don't necessarily have to be in the same area to play, they do have their whole, hey, as long as someone has one copy, your other friend can just download this thing and you can play it together from wherever you are. But I mean, Hazelight's just continuing to show just how much split screen games, how much potential they have, and just the use of them, of just how they fully control how the split screen stuff works across all three of their games, and just the combination of sort of cause and effect by both players doing different things or trying to accomplish the same thing in all their gameplays and just overall, versus just the sort of more flow of co-op games we have been getting, which has also been very nice, but all of them being more party or what's the best way to say it? I guess just mess around games necessarily, not
arcadey.
Really, yes, arcade games, cooperative arcade style games, versus a hard split screen narrative objective type game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like when A Way Out came out. Even back then, people, because that was like the first.
Yeah, that was Hazelight's first game.
Well, that was like the first split screen couch co-op game to come out in a while.
In several years.
And it was like, I remember being kind of like, man, like some conversation being like, man, it's a little bold to be like, we're gonna focus on couch co-op split screen game, and then like they commit to it, and they're like, and then It Takes Two comes out, and then now it's like with Split Fiction, it's like it just goes to show you there's an audience for like couch co-op type games, and it's like co-op games in general. I mean, we've been saying it for years, like co-op. People have been fiending for co-op games. It's just we've wanted good ones, and it's like Hazelight has shown you can make like couch co-op games in 2025 and then be successful. You just have to do it well.
Yeah, you just have to make a good game.
I'm not saying that there aren't good co-op games out there, but Hazelight is definitely a peak above most other co-op games in just the way they're more or less tapping into a market and area that no one else is touching right now.
Yeah, like them not only stepping into that market that no one else is really messing with, like they've stepped into that market and set the bar so incredibly high.
Yes.
That's the other thing, is that the bar is raised so high that anyone who wants to try to step in, you got to live up to. Well, you got 3 examples, technically 4, because Hazelight did, I don't think they were the primary publisher, but they did help quite a bit with the Brothers remake.
Yeah.
So you basically have 4 examples to go off of here.
Well, it's like Hazelight sits on that mountain peak for like couch co-op games, kind of like Lariat is kind of sitting on a peak for
RPGs.
Like, there's like turn-based CRPGs and that. It's like Hazelight is the same way. They're just the only ones making like really popular, successful, like split screen co-op games these days.
Yep.
I'm surprised we're not seeing more people try to get in on it. But it could just be, what's the point? They're going to come out with another one by the time we finish it, and everybody's going to play that one.
Or maybe it's more of a thing of just because there has been so very little split screen co-op games like that. I mean, it's more of an issue of really tying your head around of what exactly all concepts you can do with it that you would find being good, which would feel good, whatnot. And as I said, Haze Light gives a good example, but you ideally wouldn't necessarily want to completely follow that recipe just because naturally you'd be like, oh, well, this is like Haze Light's game, and Haze Light's game is much better. So
Right.
Yeah, it's probably it's like you said. It's probably one of those where it's hard to think in that dynamic of how to make the game like that, especially when you like if you try to sit there and go, well, we know Haze Light's going to do it again, and they have a team over there that's been coming up with these ideas for a decade, or like somewhere around a decade, and do we want to compete with that, or do we want to just go in our own direction?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because that is the only very unfortunate thing about Haze Light being so good is that people are naturally going to get compared to Haze Light games.
Yeah.
So that's the one really downside in which it's the hope that that developers and other people take in fact that take ideas from Haze Light, just don't replicate it.
Yeah.
Because it's very low odds that you are going to replicate it, but at least putting more out in there into that small niche style of games that expands out the platform. No, not say the platform, but the genre.
As it continues to evolve and
Yep.
stuff. Yeah, because I mean, they are the bar. They are the comparison. You know, it's like anything that you want to go for, they are the standard. Hey, that's what Haze Light has become. Haze Light is the standard. So dipping your toes in that field, you got something to live up to. You know
Which
what
is
I
just
mean?
wild thing,
Yeah.
just because A Way Out, as John said, people were skeptical back then. I mean, me and John dipped our toes into it, and it was a very, very fun game and whatnot. But just not many people touched on it, so sort of went on the wayside. But I mean, it was successful from my understanding.
Yeah.
It's also weird to look at like Split Fiction and It Takes Two, and then look back at what it was.
A Way Out, their first
A
game.
Way Out.
Right.
It's like you went in a completely different direction there, but also in a relatively good way.
Yeah, in the best way possible kind
It's
of
like
thing.
yeah,
And my best thing that I always love from Haze Light, because I think Joseph said it before, is they more or less figure out the story, a large portion of the story beforehand, and then figure out how they translate that into gameplay.
Right.
Because they always have focus on the story they want to tell above all else.
Yeah, one thing that I also saw on Twitter involving just Joseph and Haze Light and everything, it's just, you mentioned Larry, and I saw someone put up a picture of Joseph and put a picture of the head guy of Larry, and it's just like these two need to be protected at all costs. They are the kings of the gaming industry. I'm just like, facts.
it's like you go back to. It's like going back to Game Awards.
Yep.
It's like you have Joseph come out cocky as shit. He knows what he's bringing. He's like, I'll see you guys here next. I'll see you guys here next Game Awards when I'm up for nomination again.
Basically.
And then, like, just shortly after that, we have. I think
It was the game of the year.
Yeah, then we have guy from Larry come out and just roast the entire
Industry.
Yep.
roast the entire industry, and it's like I could just think him being like, except that guy who was on stage earlier.
Yeah, except
It's
Joseph.
like he knows what he's about.
And speaking of knowing what he's about, man, I saw a clip from an interview that Joseph did where, he was answering tweets or answering questions, whatever, one of those videos.
Yeah.
And the comment that he responded to was Split Fiction being woke, basically.
Yeah.
And like, dude, it was so funny seeing his reaction when he reads it. So he's reading it. He's just like, blah, 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 Split Fiction. He's like, being woke? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Is it because it's two female protagonists? And Joseph's just like, all right, look, dude, Brothers was two guys, A Way Out was two guys, It Takes Two is a man and woman. Now it's two girls. I don't really give a shit. I mean, this game is based on my daughters. I really don't give a shit what's between your legs. I just want good characters. But I just love his reaction of, what the fuck are you talking about? Is it because it's two female protagonists? Protect Joseph at all costs. Oh, man. But no, Split Fiction, incredible game. I bust out the board. It's only fair that I bust it out because I always ask you guys. I would probably honestly put it at that 10 because the gameplay alone, while the narrative is a little bit weaker than It Takes Two, The gameplay alone puts it a 10. The gameplay is so incredible. It is a 10 on the Gamesthetic board, a masterpiece.
So potentially dumb question following that up after you call it a masterpiece. There's a 100% recommend.
100% recommend. Absolutely. You gotta play this game. This game is so good.
As we started this whole conversation with Hazelight cannot do wrong currently, so any Hazelight game is 100% recommend.
Yeah, no, it is an absolute recommend. Absolute pickup, no matter what. And also shout out to the fact that it's not even a $70 game. Shout out to that.
None of their games have been
Yeah, I
standard
know.
price.
I actually forgot about that. So when I went to go pick it up and they gave me the total, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not $70. Let's go.
What is it? Price
50.
I was gonna say, is it that $50?
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
God,
because
I love when people do that.
Right.
because it takes two and a
Shout
way
out to
out.
Expedition 33 too.
It takes two and a way out. We're both at 40.
Yeah. So shout out Split Fiction. Need to pick it up. Need to pick it up. All right, let me shout out the merch stuff because I still need a new graphic. I apologize. I've been very busy. All right, so check out some Agent Ink with the referral link down below. Pick up the Sparky 3 jersey, one of our hats or shirt, as well as go over to sparky3shop.com and pick up some merch over there. If you're going to go over to Agent Ink, just make sure to use the referral link down below. You're going to be supporting the brand, or again, just go to sparky3shop.com. That works too, and we'd appreciate that extra support.
Boys,
Here we go.
we finally got to figure out what this fucking card-based shooter was about.
FragPunk.
Has released.
You probably missed it. I
is-
understand.
As the person who is adamantly against hero shooters, I've had a fucking great time at this game.
Just like the few matches I've with you guys, I only played maybe 6
I don't know.
matches, 7 matches.
We played quite a few.
When I hopped in, you played for about an hour when I was in there.
Just that little chunk of time played, and already I'm just like, okay, yeah, this is probably gonna fit into my rotation along with Marvel Rivals for my multiplayer itch because this is a lot of fun.
So first, top it off, FragPunk is a 5 versus 5 shooter game in the style of like CS:GO and Valorant. There is 2 objective sides. There's an attacking side. There's a defending side. In current standard mode, it is a match of best of 7. I would assume in ranked it's more, but none of us have played ranked, so we'll update that on a later date. The concept of it is you pick a character. Each character has 3 abilities for utility. You can pick a weapon loadout and yada, yada, yada. The bonus play in this game that makes it unique is at the beginning of the phase, you have the, what I think it actually calls it, the play phase.
Card shards is what they're called.
Well,
yeah,
the phase is actually called like the play phase, in which 3 card shards are chosen from amongst everyone on your team's available cards. You then take points that you earn from the match through either kills, objectives, or you get the +1 per round and put points to activate a card. If a card succeeds in activating, it then changes the rules of the game based on whatever the card says. Anything as wild from just simple big head mode all the way to everyone now just has melee weapons.
And you can also get the sliding with the ice with melee weapons and create a real shit show.
And that's where it gets interesting. I was just giving simple examples, but
I was gonna say some of the more basic ones are like if you put a point, because the cards range from like only needing 1 point to unlock to 5. And a lot of the ones that are like 1 point to unlock, it's for every point that you put into it, it increases the effect of the card. From as simple as like explosive damage being higher or like headshot damage being higher. Those are some of the more basic examples. There's also...
Which can be very scary because I had a match where they put 8 points into the melee lunge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. Some of the other modifiers you could get, defending side can just have grass spawn everywhere that you can crouch down in.
Yep.
With some of the grass being purple, which makes you invisible.
Yep.
And then even to the point where attacks ricochet or cause chain lightning, which is also very fun.
Or you can get the double wombo combo where bullets will make your opponents move slower and tag chain lightning on top of it.
Which I got a fun one earlier I unlocked, which is throw to trigger, which the bomb, you can just throw it onto this zone and it arms itself.
Oh, no shit.
That'd be cool.
That's cool.
I will say one of the more simpler cards that I have been a big fan of is shotgun blasts add fire damage and set people on fire.
That did win us a round earlier.
Did win a round with it by trading off kills where I died, but the burn damage from my shotgun killed him.
Yep.
I just also got a card that would be lovely for you because it increases, forces everyone. I don't know if it forces everyone to use shotguns, but it pretty much amps up all shotguns.
Oh, that'd be
the round.
cool. But yeah, I was just gonna go back real quick because like starting out, like the characters that you can choose, there are 5 available for you from the beginning of the game because it is a 5v5 game, and then was it like 8 to 10 more that you
It's
can unlock?
13 in total, so there's 8 more characters you can unlock.
So you can unlock more characters.
No, that's not right. Because there's 5. No, that is right.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know how long it takes to unlock a character
while.
after
I've
playing
seen some negative reviews on that
after
element.
playing for about 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours, I unlocked like enough of the currency for unlocking characters to be about an eighth of the way there.
Right.
Yeah. So I continued playing after you got off, John, and I reached just 3K.
Okay.
And
Yeah. 'Cause
to
I'm
unlock a character, you need 18,888.
Yeah, that's some of the only negative reviews I really saw was like, really? Come on. Like that much to like I saw some negative reviews on that.
I mean, and that's pretty high. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I think that's pretty high too.
I mean, the only slightly okay thing is they do have in their login rewards on day 2 of logging in, you do get an item that just lets you unlock a character, as well as in one of their current events called Porcelain Hunting, which unlocks 3 challenges specifically for it for like, I think it's like 8 days, and you unlock 1 day at a time. There is another one of those statues like midway through it. So with the current event and login rewards, you can at least unlock 2 other characters. But in terms of acquiring the other agents, it is a bit of a grind unless you want to swipe that card. So that is sort of one bad
The other
side.
thing is, there's a lot of menus to sort through in this
Oh, my
game as
Lord.
well,
That's
which is a bit confusing because just trying to unlock my rewards or to like get the notifications to go away, I found menus and menus that I didn't know were there,
Yeah,
which is
there
where
is a
some
lot.
of those events are at.
Yeah.
But one thing I have noticed is there are a multitude of ways to swipe in this game. Because like I think there's a shop where you can just buy skins or something.
Yes.
There's also like
They're loot boxes.
It's essentially loot boxes that you can like unlock. I've just from playing for like 3 hours and going through like I don't know if it was the battle pass or an event or something. I've been able to open that like 4 times.
That's just through leveling.
Okay, just through leveling, I've been able to open that like 4 times. Which I mean, it's cool. I got a cool skin for one of my guns for it, but it is also like, man, I don't know how like frequent that'll be able to do free to play.
Not terribly frequent because I mean, it is published by NetEase, so it is microtransaction heavily. As John mentioned, there is a battle pass, there's the loot boxes, and then of course there's just straight buying currency for skins and bundles and whatnot like that. Besides that, there is the blue currency Gleamium, which you can use for the just the regular loot box, which is 300 Gleamium spin, which I mean isn't that terrible. I mean, in the time we played,
I've gotten quite a bit.
yeah, in the time we played, I accumulated 3,000, and that was enough to do 10 spins in it or 10 pulls, which I mean, if you're having fun, that's not too bad. And through the regular loot box, you can acquire currency for the money loot box. It's a rare reward, but it is possible.
Yeah. But yeah, I personally would have preferred to see like, and granted, I feel like most people are probably saying this, character unlocks be like cost half of what they are.
Yeah.
If it was like 8 to 10,000 for a character, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. That's like you play because that's. I also come from playing like a lot of these like free to play looter shooters where it's a
thing.
heavy grind fest to unlock additional characters and that, which usually then also has time gated features. So I'm
Yeah.
used to playing a game for like 15 hours to be able to unlock 2 to 3 additional characters. But it is a little disappointing where it's like I would probably have to play for like 15 hours to unlock one character, if not for like the like daily login rewards, giving you one. So it would be nice if they lowered that cost a little bit.
I say the one positive in all this though is just in this style of game of sort of seek and destroy, objective attack and defense, is that with the standard mode it is a lot shorter than most games with this style.
Honestly, once when I hopped in when you guys were playing around and you mentioned because I didn't know what the game was.
Yeah.
When you guys mentioned it was like that Valorant style, not gonna lie, kind of got brought
Yeah, I
down a little
figured.
bit. We got into the first game and I realized, oh, this is like best of 7.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then once we get through it, it goes. Even when you have a game go like
The full
5,
set,
6 rounds or something, it's fast.
Yeah. It's
Oh yeah,
very
it
fast.
feels very fast versus because the standard for CS:GO and Valorant are like 14.
I think it's like I think you gotta win 15 rounds.
That's on CS:GO and Valorant. You got to win like 8 because it's best of 14.
Okay, yeah. I only have the
CS:GO.
CS:GO.
Yeah, CS:GO
experience.
is longer than Valorant.
But yeah, gameplay wise, it is a very solid shooter. I
Yeah.
was very surprised when it jumped in the tutorial because you mentioned it felt good.
Yeah.
I got into it. It was immediately apparent. I was like, oh, this actually feels really nice.
Yeah, I had to mess with my sensitivity real quick and upped it a bit. But I mean, after I did that, yeah, no, it's pretty smooth.
No, that's the one thing about FragPunk is that they've nailed the gameplay, right? They've nailed the idea, they've nailed the gameplay. That stuff is incredible, right? It feels great to play. The concept is interesting, it's unique, it's different. It gives you a different taste from what you normally play. It's just kind of everything else with the menus and the pricing. Can we figure this out a little bit? Maybe do some tweaks, whatever. But the important part is the core mechanic, the core gameplay. They nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
Because like this is one of those games where it's like if you are a FPS player, you play FPS games all the time. Maybe you swap between a few, whatever. This is one you can come into just to have a good time, right? Like that's all this is.
Yeah, because even on like console side where it has been delayed due to
Unfortunately.
optimization and stuff like that, because I was initially going to play on Xbox because my PC is old. I wasn't sure if it was going to run very well. Luckily, it does. So I initially went on the Xbox and tried to download on there, and everyone was, I didn't know about the delay till I looked at it, but when I looked at the reviews, instead of just being bashed, it was mostly everyone just still giving like 4 or 5 stars. Like, I don't care if it's delayed, just make it good. And this is a fantastic game.
Right.
Yeah.
And because that's been the solid thing. Even the people that have given negative reviews, I think on Steam, most of them still been like, the game's good. I just hate the menus and and the costs.
One thing I was going to mention, because anybody coming from like CS that might want to give this game a try, they have done something interesting with like the equipment stuff that you would be used to with like smokes, flashbangs, like Molotovs and that. Each of those is assigned to a secondary weapon. So there's just regular grenade, smoke, flash, and Molotov. They are all a alternate fire on a secondary pistol where you get 2 shots of each per round.
And then you also have to take into account there's cards that also more or less use that effect. Like there's the death rattle card where if you die, your head explodes as a flashbang. So if you charged in, then you have the little lions, which are little shits who
Love those guys.
whenever an enemy in his range, they just go and charge them
Yep.
and they bite them and then explode into a Molotov fire. Because I've seen many people just stand in that stuff and die because they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
The other aspect with that I like to mention, instead of where a lot of these other games are very utility heavy on just blocking lines aside and whatnot, this game is very much more heavier on trap placement and movement detection. Because just about everyone has some sort of deployable and has some sort of ability to detect other people.
Yeah, that's one thing because I haven't played all 5 of the characters that are
Neither have I.
unlocked yet. I've played most of them now. And that is one thing I noticed immediately. I was like, everybody kind of has one ability that's like, throw it out, set it there, and it'll either detect somebody or it kind of blocks it off to where they either have to just charge through it, take the damage, or be revealed, or they have to reveal themselves by destroying it.
There is a few exceptions with a couple of characters. There is Zephyr, she's literally tagged as an assassin. Her whole kit's based on her being stealthed and being able to backstab people. Then there's a few teleporter characters that are more fraggers in terms of misplacing themselves to be able to advance unseen, to pop up in the middle of the enemy team, some form of faction. And then there's Spider, who's just a bastard who throws a deployable, which if it grabs onto someone, it then brings them to where he was standing.
That's cheeky. Haven't seen that yet.
I've only seen one Spider so far, so not many people are picking him because I guess his kit seems either unusual to him or they don't feel like it's good. One other aspect I want to mention that neither these two got to experience in terms of tiebreakers in this game.
Oh, yeah. That sounds cool.
If shouldn't the game go into tiebreaker instead of having one final round of attack and defend, instead it goes into a duel mode in which everyone on both sides picks a position 1 through 5 and starting as well as are allowed to pick a character and load out one last time. Then you proceed on doing 1v1 duels until one team no longer has any players. And it goes until you die. So if you win a round, you go again with the same health and whatever resources you still have left. So if you blow everything on the first round, you best be a damn good firearmsman.
Man, that's got to be great to watch. Because I assume it's just you load in on the same map.
No, it's actually...
Or is it, do you load in somewhere else?
It's actually smaller duel-specific maps.
Oh, I'm more... Because when you first mentioned it, I didn't realize that it changed maps to a more...
Well, it would be sort of hard to do that on like the really big map.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, because you just have two people
running around in circles.
Two people either running around with SMGs or something, or you'd have two people just sitting, waiting at the end of a hallway for each other to walk out.
Yeah. But no, it does have actually smaller duel-specific maps. I've seen 2 of them so far. I assume there's one in association with each larger map, in which they are much more smaller size, and pretty much a round can be pretty quick.
That's got to be great to watch someone just run through all 5 people.
Oh, I did, because the first time, because both of my games which went in tiebreaker, I lost both. The person in the second position and the first one wiped my entire team. And on the other one, it actually went down to the other enemy team's 4th position was actually trading off pretty well till that 4th position. He cleaned house.
Yeah. And with that concept, it's just further give kudos to the dev team, right? Or it's like not only did you have a really unique premise for this FPS game with the whole card function, the card shards, but you took a step further. It's like, let's get wild and wacky with tiebreakers. Let's do this dual mode thing. Let's put everyone on this map, whatever. Just have a great time, whatever. Ammo doesn't replenish. Just kudos to them for the unique idea.
That's the one thing that does replenish is ammo.
All right, so whatever, that does replenish. But just kudos to them for like being really creative, because again, it's like if your normal daily grind, if you're just an FPS guy, you play Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, and it's just like, man, just like I just want to go, have fun, have a great time. FragPunk's your winner, like, because like the gameplay is just fun. Like, kudos to them, man. What a unique idea with that dual mode. I imagine when it popped up, you were just like, what the fuck is happening?
That's exactly what I said. As soon as I saw 3-3, so we're gonna do one more round, and it went duel, I went, what
is this?
I will say it's been the game was fun to start with, but it was also very like apparent we were playing people who had no idea of what was happening.
Oh yeah, those first couple games.
To the point where it kind of felt almost like playing bots in a sense, because there was a time literally where me and Zach walked into the plant spot, and you go to your left, and I turn around and there's a guy just like strafing side to side in the corner,
watching the other doorway.
But very quickly afterwards, it was.
We eventually got out of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think it was the game where you decided to get off, Alex. Once we got past that, every game was an actual game from there on.
Nice. I was about to say, Alex caught a bit of that right before he left with a couple of them.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Although we had a couple games in there where on one map, the team just kept running to the
Yeah.
same spot.
Night market.
They kept running to the same spot and grouping in the same area to the point where at one point I was like, I think it was the final round. I went to the other Bob side. I was like, surely now. And I hear Zach going, it's a shooting gallery. And I'm like sprinting my way. I'm like, I want to be a part of it.
Because literally with how that on night market, I think it's zone A, more or less how it is how it's set up. There's a wall right there at the opening side on the defender side, but there's also in the midway point just an open area that sees into it. So they would just throw a smoke and they would just go into that corner. All of us who are coming from A would just be like, okay, and just mow them down because they all just went right in that corner.
Right.
I do want to clarify because I don't think we 100% clarified it. The cards that you pick at the start of each round only affect that round.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's not like if you pick big head mode for that round, they won't have big heads besides that round unless the card shows back up.
Yeah, it's a new set of cards each round.
Yeah,
yeah.
so like every round, the gameplay kind of constantly changes.
In
So-
which there's a total of 6 cards that can be activated at once. 3 for your team, 3 for the opponent team.
Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify that because I had like based on what we said, I could very easily see people wondering if those card effects stacked up.
Right.
Which it would be cool if there was a mode where all of that did stack up eventually. It's just like a chaos mode.
I mean, there probably is because, I mean, besides the standard mode, which is Shard Clash, there is the arcade, which I did play a couple of those after you got off, which changes up and has like a little bit more fun. There's currently a Rocketeer mode, which is just everyone's playing the character Broker, who has an RPG, and they have infinite ammo and infinite skills.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's 10 brokers on a map jumping around, shooting rockets at each other.
That is also another card effect. If we haven't said it, there's a card effect where you can, if you pick it, everybody can play the same agent
Yes.
or the same character. So we did that we did that at least once where
Yes.
we did essentially do that exact thing where 3 of us went down a hallway and all fired rockets down the same hallway and obliterated a couple people.
Because no one was expecting 3 brokers.
Yep.
Because standardly, only one person can play each character.
Yep.
But yeah, they have a couple different game modes in that arcade because there's also a outbreak mode, which is like zombies. People start around as it gets turned into zombies, are infected, and kill the others. The only bad thing about that mode is like it does like 7 rounds, and it's like a 5-minute timer.
Oh, that could be rough.
Yeah, and with some of the characters, people can after like the first couple rounds, people find the hidey holes. So it's just 4 minutes of you trying to break it down, and then it decides who wins based on how many rounds were won by infected versus how many rounds were won by survivors. Yeah. Then there's also a killed confirm mode where you kill people,
Love kill confirm.
collect the cube thing, which I forget what they're called, to gain points that way. But there's a couple different modes in arcade if you're just not feeling like doing a Search and Destroy standard S shooter mode. You can go to arcade and play a bunch of those. So
where would we put it on the board?
I'd honestly,
I've got a double opinion on this.
I would currently
Board.
standard and just gameplay wise, I would actually give it an 8.
All right.
In terms of as a whole, probably only like a 6.5.
Okay, so we're about on
Yeah.
the same wavelength.
I was gonna say gameplay wise, I could definitely see giving it an 8. That's exactly like I was thinking that before you said it. As a whole package, it can't be an 8 right now.
Yep.
If they make some changes to some stuff and make it a little more accessible, like characters more accessible and a little bit easier, like navigation wise, it could potentially be bumped up there. I'd probably just put it at like 7 for now, like for as an overall package, just because like I said, I play a lot of random like
You do.
flavor of the month games, and I've seen way worse menus and like money grabbing in that.
Oh, I mean, NetEasy are the same people that do Naraka. So, I mean, in Naraka Blade Points menus, it has quite a few sub menus as well, but it's not nearly as bad as this one.
Menu wise, this is one of the worst ones that I've played. Overall,
This menu is terrible.
Overall, it's not as bad as like I prefer the way this game does menus and stuff than I did in like First Descendant. And I played a lot of First Descendant.
Yes, you did. No, I'm in the same boat. In terms of gameplay, I think it's very firmly at an 8 just because it's so unique. It feels great. It's fun. Those are the three main things that we got to go for here. But like as a game, I mean, I feel like I'm being generous doing a 7. I'm thinking 6.5 or just 6.
Yeah.
Which is still, according to the board that we go by, is good and fine. So don't worry. That still means play the game. Check it out. It's free to play.
We stand by our statement of 7s are playable games.
Yeah,
Correct.
7 is a good game. And it's like
Even 6 is a good.
I was gonna say
can be a good fun game.
on our game, 6 is kind of where it's like
Take it with a grain of salt.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then but
the gameplay is very good.
yeah,
So play the game.
it's
So hopefully they'll fix it.
when you're in the game and you're searching for a game, perfectly fine.
And
Yep.
guess
In
what?
between game, when you're trying to figure out how to reclaim everything or navigate somewhere, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. It's a free-to-play game. You don't have to swipe. You can just go play the game.
Sure. And just enjoy it. It's fun.
I will probably play a decent amount of this game. I will refuse to swipe in this game. This will be. It was the same thing in First Descendant for me. I refused to swipe in that game.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoyed playing it, I was like, I'm not doing it.
But John, if you just buy like $1, you get Booker's Beach Party skin.
I do want that skin.
I don't. Zach, I have
Or Broker,
already.
not Booker.
I've already showed. I don't need to swipe. You saw my cool like. I forget what they name the gun.
It's
but
like some shark
essentially-
SMG.
It's
Yeah.
essentially the Vector submachine
Yeah,
gun.
yeah.
I got a purple shark skin.
Yeah, someone killed me with that earlier, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I saw it in the kill replay. I'm like, what is that gun? What is that skin?
The funniest thing was I got it. I picked the gun. This is the first time I used the gun. And then we get in a game. I go, hey, Zach, come check out my skin that I got. He turns and starts looking down at the character next to him. And
Because it's the character he's been playing
I
the
know,
entire
but
time.
he just looks down, and I'm just standing behind him. I go, Zach, I'm behind you. and then he turns around and goes, you've just been playing a lot of that guy.
He's been playing Jaguar the entire time, and suddenly, because you're not around, he goes and plays.
He was already picked.
I know that, but he was playing your character. I can't think of her name at the moment.
Nitro.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that shark skin is pretty cool. Like I said, someone killed me with it earlier, and I saw it in the replay.
The funniest thing was like that round, Zach like kills the final guy, takes his gun. We start the next round. He goes, "Look at the skin I stole."
That's exactly what I did. I was like, well, I don't have a skin. Pop! Your gun's mine now. It looks fancy.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
But yeah, the game is incredibly fun right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those where, like, even like when you start playing against people who are like
Actually know how to play
actually
an
know
FPS.
how to play it and actually kind of get into it, it gets pretty challenging. But then it's still pretty fun because there's the maps are like decent size. They're pretty quick to navigate though.
Yeah.
You can get like there's been a few times where like I'll push up, like go one side, their entire team will go the other way, and you can get a pretty good flank off as long as they don't just rush in and absolutely destroy your team.
Right. Right.
Which we did have happen one time where like there was smoke out in the middle of the map, and they like 4 of them just came running through, gunning us down. When none of us were ready for it.
Right. Right. I also want to shout out, like, what kind of timeline did I end up in where both the multiplayer games I'm playing are both published by NetEase? What are the odds of that? But I mean, whatever.
NetEase is doing better as a publisher, not being as scummy.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's what I told you though. You only really need one now because you play with us now.
Well, I still have the Marvel Rivals grind. Okay,
You don't have to do that.
I
You
have
don't have
the
to play
grinds.
Rivals.
I have
You
the
don't have
grinds.
to do that. You got Rocket to Lord. You're done.
No, now I got to get Luna to Lord and Groot and Strange. I got
Alex,
a list.
are you really trying to get to one above?
Hey,
I might be.
hey, Alex.
One above all, I might be.
Alex?
Celestial, yeah.
You keep acting that way, and you're gonna have to swipe to get characters.
No, all the characters are free.
No, you're gonna have to swipe to get characters in
FragPunk.
FragPunk with us.
All right, no, well, that's fair because I'll fall behind. So you're right. You're right on that front.
Which I'm curious. So I know you looked through the list of characters.
I looked through a few of them. I haven't decided who I'm getting next.
Did you ever look through them?
I briefly looked.
So you wouldn't have a really good idea who you'd want to grab?
The one thing is
No,
like,
not off the dome here on the spot on the show. No.
the first one I looked at. I think we're able to get for free through the event.
No, I misread that. So there's an event that's sort of chum related. You get more or less, there's 4 things you can do on there. 2 of them are worth 100 points. The other 2 are repeatable and are 50 each. The 2 that are 100 is one is acquire chum, and the second one is win a matches chum.
Oh, I read that wrong too. I thought if you went through all of them, then you unlocked him and then got it. Okay.
Nope.
He's in consideration for a character for me.
Yeah, no, I started peeking at them all, and I said to myself, well, consider how much they cost. I'm not really worried about it right now. I'll look at this later.
Yeah, well,
That was basically my mindset.
if you log in tomorrow, you can make a choice. Because day 2 login is the free character statue.
Oh, okay, I guess I got to figure that out then.
For me, I'm looking at Circuit or Sonar.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to hop on there tomorrow and pick a character.
Because Sonar, her kit's very similar to, I shouldn't say very similar, is partially similar to Breach, who in Valorant, who I played a crap ton of during like the first 2 seasons of Valorant. So she seems very much in my wheelhouse. Circuit is a little bit more frag heavy in terms of she's going to be teleporting and displacing people. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. When I get home, I'll probably look through and figure out who I'm probably gonna unlock.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. See, the one I may have another game in the rotation because I really want to buy 2K25. I may go buy that when we're done here.
WWE 2K25.
Yeah, just for context. Yeah, no, I really want to buy the Dead Man and the Bloodline edition and play it like tonight. I want to play the game so damn bad. I'm in such a wrestling mood right now. I want to play that game so damn bad right now. But no, FragPunk is it is just simply fun. The trailer looked fun enough to even get John interested in it. That tells you something.
Yeah.
And it is just fun. So shout out to FragPunk. Hopefully it will, kind of get a little straightened out on a few things. The console release comes out and it'll be great. And it's just a successful title. I just hope it doesn't get like super overshadowed by stuff, which I think would be tough because it's so unique. But I want it to be able to stand on its own for a while.
I mean,
it's got a solid.
Last night at like around 11 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
Was when I finished playing because I got a pretty good low rotation of games going on right now. But last night at like 11 o'clock, there was like 60K people playing. I didn't look today. But yeah, I got Wilds that I'm playing, FragPunk now, and then I'm bouncing back and forth on Remnant 2.
Yeah, saw that.
Which is a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, saw that. Shout out. Yeah. But yeah, no, shout out to FragPunk. It's very good, free to play. You should go check it out because it's simply just a fun game.
It has got a definitely solid foundation. So I definitely see this one staying around for a long time unless just something exceptionally drastic happens.
It's not a flavor of the month.
No,
is the best way to put it.
No. And as much as we've kind of harped on like terrible menuing system and everything, if you want to hop in, the game is fantastic to play. It's a lot of fun. Best of all, free game. You can hop in and try it. Pretty quick download too.
Yeah, didn't take me long.
In the age of like 100 gig games, this one was like
32.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. So you can hop in, download it, give it a try, see if it's for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to deal with all the menus, the main menu is just a simple play button. So
yeah,
it just takes 2 clicks.
Yep.
A lot of what you'll be menuing to do is getting stickers.
True.
There's apparently rarities of stickers, but I've yet to see anything besides common.
I don't know because the stickers, if you scroll down in the sticker thing,
there's sets.
There's whole sets of them, and I don't.
Yeah, because there's currently 3 pack sets. Because yes, the stickers are like trading cards.
I have a lot of the same ones.
So do I. Because you use one anytime you stick it on a gun, a profile. Use it as your.
It's one off.
Oh, they're consumable. They're consumable. Like
They're
that?
consumables.
Oh, didn't realize that.
That's
Okay.
why we're getting so many. They're consumables.
That makes sense.
That's okay. I got my dinosaur breathing fire.
Yeah, he switched off the octopus.
Nice.
Yeah, I went there. I was like, I told Zach, I was like, hold on, I gotta find it, like navigate and click on all this stuff so the notification goes away. And as I was doing it, I went, ooh, dinosaur.
Easy to please. All right, let's shout out some Rogue Energy. Check out some Rogue Energy with the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order, whether if you're using hydration, chill, or the energy line. They're all fantastic. We recommend them all. But hey, if they have a better sale going on, no big deal. Just use the referral link, and you're still going to be helping out the brand. But if you want to help the brand out even further, that promo code is Sparky3.
And they
to get
currently
10% off.
have a 50 off cans.
Well, go buy some cans in. Just use the referral link.
Can
You're gonna
50.
help out the brand because that black cherry lemonade is incredible. That is a 10 out of 10 canned energy drink right there. All right, let's touch on this next topic and we hit the weekly wrap up. So this one's kind of a dicey one in a way because it's a gaming podcast. We want to come in here, have a good time. We're about to get a little political in here. Not really though, just very 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 slightly because I've kind of avoided the topic to an extent because it is so heavily tied to politics. But it's just one of those things that it's a real possibility. So at least shout it out for anyone who's not paying attention to be aware of this possibility. And that is the possibility of physical games. The end is coming sooner than we even thought it was. And the reason why is because for anyone that does not know, with all of the tariffs that have been placed on like Mexico and Canada that have now gone into effect recently, besides certain goods from Mexico, one of those things that would fall into that category would be disc manufacturing, because a majority of disc manufacturing does take place in Mexico. So with this being a real thing that is happening in the world right now and in the United States, it is a legitimate possibility that game manufacturing could actually be slashed quite a bit. And it doesn't help when you look at the gaming industry as it is, where physical video game sales are down, right? With a few exceptions here or there, maybe some really popular ones, whatever the case is, or diehards of a certain one, or let's say Switch. Switch always seems to sell. It is down, and we've seen that in various ways with just like the downscaling of GameStop brick and mortar locations and how the location is set up, where it's more pop culture. The downscaling of Best Buy video game sections, Walmart video game sections, etc. Physical video game sales are down, and with this possibility, it's just one of those things where a lot of publishers could see this and just be like, well, digital sells better anyway. Certain publishers may just go ahead and just go all digital. There are some publishers who mostly do digital as it is. Not any of the mega big dogs. Like I'd say one who they do physical games, but it's kind of like, we'll see on the game. It is like Level 5, for example. A lot of their stuff is digital only. All right. Like I know one game that, my wife's excited for is Fantasy Life I. It's not getting a physical release here in the United States. It's only getting a limited physical release in Japan, which that one's kind of a niche title, so that's fair. But that's like kind of a lot of their games. But so with this whole disc situation that is potentially taking place, it could steer more publishers away from wanting to even print the disc, get the disc, whatever the case is. So my question for you guys, we already know it's going to happen. We have, I would say, at most, this one last next generation to potentially be physical gaming related. Then after that, I think it's dead besides Nintendo. Is this really accelerate the process as everything goes with the current information we know and have? Is this going to accelerate the process in you guys?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, at the very minimum, if it doesn't accelerate the process, disc games are going to go up in price, possibly more than digital. So you'll see physical games being costing more than the digital version.
Which could also further lead the end of physical games.
Yeah,
too.
because if they're having to pay more to acquire the disc because of the tariffs and whatnot, that costs, they're not just going to take it. It's going to come down onto the consumer who will have to pay more for disc.
Right.
What I was going to say is, if it is the end of physical media, it is unfortunate. coming from the person who has been a digital games, like I've been pushing you to buy games digitally more than anything, and I've been only buying digital games except a few physical copies here and there for over a decade now. There have been several instances in the past few months even that show we are not ready for digital only games in general. And that has been PlayStation Network going down multiple times because the problem with that is to play a lot of your games or to download your games or anything, you have to be able to connect to the network. If there is an interruption to the network, since you do not own the game, you own the license to the game, your license cannot be verified.
Yep.
So you cannot access your game library. And it's like that happens if your internet goes out for an extended period of time. There pretty much always has to be a connection for you to be able to establish that you own the game when you launch it. Which basically means if they are going to go to physical only,
or digital only,
digital only, I mean, then they have to update the way this works, where like a 30-day check-in or something, like check-in on the first of the month.
I can see a check-in.
It verifies if your account connects to the internet, it verifies everything in your library so that if something happens, you still have access to it.
Right.
Because when PlayStation Network goes down, I can't do anything on my PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
I had there's basically like when it went down for 26 hours or something, I couldn't access anything on my PlayStation. I couldn't access my game library. I couldn't access YouTube. I couldn't access anything.
You suddenly had a very fancy table decoration.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's like PlayStation Network has gone down a couple times in the last few months. It went down around Christmas time, like briefly. But it's one of those where if we are going to be forced to move into a digital only landscape, they've got to update how this process works.
Yeah. And
because,
I
was just going to say, because it's like you've already had to change your wording to say we do not own the game. We own a license to the game.
Yeah, that's already been a thing.
It's like since that has been established and we have to verify our license to be able to play the game, there needs to be a grace period and not it be every time you launch the game.
Right.
Like otherwise, if something happens, nobody's going to be able to do anything.
Yeah. And I think the idea of doing some sort of check-in, I think that's such a smart way to go about it. Not only from the concept of what you're saying, it's like, what if we lose power? What if internet's down, network's down or whatever? But then also just cases of people that are just in unique living situations that want to still play their games. Because the first one that I thought of as you were talking about is our friend Brady. Shout out to him. He's living like his little hermit life in a shack out in the country. And for him to get anything gaming wise, he has to actually take his PlayStation into his dad's house that's on the same large property they live on, use the internet there and get everything. Then he goes back to his Brady hut, as I call it. So, I mean, that would be a situation if Brady could go do whatever he wants to do, download the games, get the games updated, whatever, and then he goes back and it's just like, okay, well, he only has to do a check-in every 30 days versus well, there's a lot of games that I flat out can't play because I haven't been able to get internet out to my little hut, So that would be a great example where the check-in would be really useful and I know that's like a niche situation, but there's plenty of people that's probably still in that same situation.
Yeah.
People that want to go live off the grid, which respect, right? People who live out in the country and can't get the best internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one of those where it's something where it's like not every game is going to need to check your license every time you go to launch it.
True.
But if it's a game that requires online connectivity or something, you do have to verify your license to be able to play the game.
Yeah.
Which means, granted, it is infrequent and usually very short. But as we've seen, I mentioned before, PlayStation Network goes down. Mm-hmm. That locks out anybody from being able to do anything on their console.
And worst case scenario with that, forbid it happen, if someone's feeling spicy and decides to DOA attack the Xbox Live service or the PS Network and just cause it to shut down for who knows how long because of a DOA attack or whatever, which is not an unheard of thing to happening to services and whatnot.
Right. True.
But yeah, I think there needs to, if that is going to be because it is essentially going to be the future fairly short off anyway. Is a lot of people are, most developers are probably going to move away from physical games.
Yeah, and this could just accelerate the process if everything stays as it is.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Which, like I said, I'm the one who's been the big proponent of digital games. I much prefer having games digitally. But it is a thing where every now and then I kind of look at it and I go, man, I wish I had a physical copy of this game so I could just play it.
Right.
It'd be nice to be able to just put a disc in and play it and not have to worry about downloading it or anything like that, or like internet goes out and I sit there and I go, hey, I guess I can't play that. I'll figure out something else to play.
Right. One thing that also irritates me with physical games now with the whole like license checking thing is that there are some physical games that you buy where you're literally just buying a prop. You're just buying a prop just to have the prop.
Yeah.
Because I have games where, it's not an online game. Let me stress that. It's an offline single player, game, whatever. And I still have to be connected to the internet to verify that I have. Because I run into that with a handful of Switch games. Like when I travel out of town for work, and maybe I'm wanting to play one. Shout out. I mean, the Switch can connect to my like unlimited hotspot I've got on my phone, so I'm good. But it's like I always forget which games are like that. So it's like I pop into games, like, I want to play this, and it's just like, oh, it's like we can't verify it, whatever. I'm like, you're a single player game. Fuck off. It's like I have the physical game. Let me play it. But then there's others where I just pop in. And it's like, oh, yep, here we go. So that also kind of irritates me with that. Is that some physical games are just like a prop. It feels like
it's also like that's telling as well. Just the fact that like physical games have meant less and less over the years.
Yeah.
Because even if you buy a game physically, half the time you put it in your console, then you still have to do an installation because the game, like the disc, is like 3/4 of the game, and then you have to like download the rest of it or download patches and stuff associated with it before you can ever actually play it.
True.
So it's like a physical game. Most of the time these days doesn't, just because you buy it doesn't mean you can pop it in and immediately play it. You gotta sit through like 10 minutes of download.
Yeah, if not longer. No, with this whole situation that's taking place, like I said, I do think it's going to accelerate the potential death of physical media, or at least in terms of discs. I'm not sure where like cartridges are manufactured for like any like Switch 2 stuff, that's coming or whatever. I have no idea about any of that. But at least discs being manufactured in Mexico, like I feel like it could further like just really push the end of physical media, which we are like, again like what John just said, like it's coming. We all know it's coming. I think the last generation, I'm actually kind of a little bit more in the boat. I think the next generation will actually still have discs, but it will be 1,000,000% the last, without a doubt.
What I will say is if this causes like physical version of games to rise in price to like just counteract.
Yeah. Let's say they go up to like $80 a game.
Then the thing that's going to irritate me with that is, they're not going to want to have two different price points.
Yeah.
They're gonna raise the digital price
as well
in association with it and use it as the excuse.
Yep.
And then physical games will go away, but we'll keep it at the raised price.
Yep.
Which is going to irritate the piss out of me.
So you're going to have your games on digital, on Steam that you like to buy, go up to $80, like just as an example, the example that I'm using. Yeah.
Well, most games I buy on Steam are not AAA priced games.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. It's just it's a shitty situation. All I can say, because this is again a video game show, we're not here to get political. Hopefully it just gets figured out. That's all I can say. Hopefully it gets figured out. Let's not let this die.
I was about to say, the only other route they could take, which I highly doubt would be cost effective, is if whenever they do an announcement and release of a game, is that they do physical, but it's pre-order only.
Yeah, true.
The physicals would only ever be pre-order, and yeah.
Yeah, true. All right, you guys have anything you want to shout out before we get to the weekly wrap up?
Yeah, damn right I do.
Is it what I'm thinking it is?
I have no idea what you think I'm talking
Because
about.
I had a shout out as well that I forgot to add on the script. So I'm wondering if it's the same thing.
RuneFest 2025
There it
wrapped
is.
up recently. During RuneFest, we got a whole host of announcements.
For anyone who doesn't know what RuneFest is, this is for what?
This is for RuneScape. Specifically, most of these announcements were for old school RuneScape.
Shout out.
This was actually the first in-person RuneFest they've had in 5 years.
Nice.
So, and they got a whole host of announcements. So for March, there's the alpha testing of the first skill in a very long time, sailing, which then the sailing skill will officially be released later in the year in autumn. We got the announcement of in-game duo bosses coming this spring. Summertime, we're getting essentially the final part of the Varlamore storyline.
I'm sorry, RuneScape has a storyline?
It has quest lines and storylines for each different region.
Okay.
Which Varlamore is the expansion that happened a year ago, I think. So they're getting the follow up to the Varlamore, which includes new bosses, new mini games, new activities, a whole host of stuff. In the summertime, a whole bunch of like follow up stuff to like follow up changes that kind of, because they do a lot of part 1, part 2 changes that happen. There's a follow up to changes they made, I think, in the second half of 2024 for like elemental weaknesses for enemies to kind of revamp how some combat is done. Then, as said before, in autumn time, we get sailing. And then they announced that in winter, there will be, so they do leagues every now and then, which are kind of like little month or 2 month long periods where it's like it's kind of like a Path of Exile league, but in RuneScape, where they have their own kind of gimmicky stuff that happens, accelerated XP and stuff like that. They have a Dead Man mode coming out again. And then announced for early 2026, we got the Blood Moon Rises announcement, which is the follow-up to the Mire Key, essentially the follow-up to the Vampire quest line, culminating in a new Grandmaster quest. So, whole lot of content coming in the next year for RuneScape.
Nice. Shout out to RuneFest. And shout out to it being back to an in-person event. First time in 5 years. Shout out to that. I like how John came ready. He's like, "You damn right I do." He was ready.
I had the roadmap pulled up and ready to go.
I was about to say, I saw him pull up something on his phone right beforehand.
Yeah.
So
No, the only thing that I've got, because I forgot to add on the weekly wrap-up, is shout out. Got a new DualSense controller announced.
Oh, go fuck yourself. No,
What is it?
The thing
Oh
is,
my God.
I don't actually like this design.
I do. I think it's pretty cool.
It's Last of Us inspired.
Yeah. Yeah, with the season 2 of the show coming out, but the context of why he's saying "go fuck myself"
Every time
because you send it to him.
he always sees the announcement before I do, and with no context, I'll just get a text from him that just has like the stored up PlayStation link to it to the controller, and I just messaged him. I was like, "Why must you?"
Yeah, that's exactly what he sent me. Was just I got the screenshot, and all it was the link. Why must you? That was just all the response, and I thought that was so funny because we just talked about this on the show like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, you cursed me out like that. I do that shit to you. And so when I saw the page come through, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta send this to John."
Well, a lot of times the controllers are like, I like the designs to them. I don't know what it. I don't care for this design. Half the design is black on black.
Yeah,
which I don't like.
right. I thought it actually looked pretty cool. So I like the black on. The reason I like the black on black is I like the white contrast of the inside of the controller being like that white coloring. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
I might end up getting it, but this isn't one that I'm too excited for. Most of the time when I order the new like PS5 controller, it's because I like the design.
yeah.
Or I just think it's funny. Like the Fortnite one
Yeah.
was just goofy and funny, and I liked it for that reason.
Right. No, I just had to shout that out mostly just because of John's response to it. That's the only reason I needed to shout it out was just John. Just the why must you?
It was like I was like walking around at work and like I get the notification. I looked down at my watch and all I just saw was store.PlayStation. Wait, this motherfucker. I was like, this motherfucker. What's it look like?
I'm just here to help, man. I'm just here to help. All right, let's start going through the weekly wrap up. So the first thing, shout to Monster Hunter. They sold over 8 million copies in just its first 3 days.
Officially being the fastest selling Capcom game ever.
Yep. So massive shout out, man. That's such an accomplishment, especially for the thing that I've enjoyed the most about this accomplishment is seeing all of like the long term Monster Hunter fans being like, man, just think that this used to be a super niche franchise and look at it now. Yeah. Like that's like it's crazy to me. Like
the world brought it up with just the accessibility. So
yeah. So big shout to Monster Hunter Wilds, man. And also big shout to Expedition 33. That is set to come out here in April. Really excited for that. My current most anticipated game of the year, as well as John's. The early previews for it are insanely positive. Every early preview that I have read, everyone is saying the same thing, that this game is going to be an absolute standout gem of this year. So let's go, baby. I'm so damn pumped.
Yeah. I've seen a couple that where it was like the article title was like, I was expecting the combat or something in Expedition 33, and then it tied off. I was like, wait, no, wait, what are you saying? And then it just cuts to like, but I did not expect it to be this good.
Yeah, dude, it looks good, and just everyone says it is good. So I'm so excited for Expedition 33. Not excited for this, though, if this report's true. Apparently, the Gears of War collection that's been long rumored will apparently feature the full co-op mode, but no PvP. This thing's dead on arrival, I'm telling you right now. Look, the Gears of War trilogy are a very fun story. Especially 2 and 3 can really pull at your heartstrings at a couple of very key moments, right? Very good story. But if you don't have the damn PvP, this game is dead on arrival, bro.
Let me tell you something great. Let me tell you something. Anybody that not anybody. Let me just say, I would say 80% of people who are looking forward to this are looking forward to playing the story of those games again with updated graphics and generally looking better and hopefully feeling a little better.
I'm honestly,
nobody is looking forward to that, to sit down and try to play the PvP.
Okay, so
that's exactly the reason why I bought the Gears of War remaster, because I wanted to play the story again.
Listen. We're on different timelines then, because everyone on my timeline is in the boat of this sucks. Like, how can you not have the PvP with it?
But think about it. If that came out with PvP, you would play it the weekend that it came out, then you would never touch the PvP again.
You're damn right.
I was about to say that feels like to me. I'm not sure how many of those people would go like real hard in the PvP again to be like competitive or not. More or less nostalgia of that time, which was a very heavy time during the 360 era. Was just Gears of War PvP.
Yeah.
No, fuck that PvP.
I know you weren't in it because you had the worst sort of entry to Gears of War ever.
My entry into Gears of War was a PvP with like 6 people who played the PvP nonstop.
But for a large portion for a generation of 360, you got on your 360 to play a few games and do the online PvP. Halo.
Yep.
Gears of War.
Yep.
Modern
Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Ops. Yeah. Yep. Modern Warfare 2, 3, Black Ops 1 and 2, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Gears of War 2 and 3. That's your lineup, Bubba.
That was a generation of gamers.
that was your lineup.
That's why you went home every day to play.
Yep. As somebody who's never played a Gears of War game, I don't really have interest in it, but like a trilogy of it being released, I might play. I would probably only play it if I played a co-op with somebody.
I'll play.
But I'd have zero interest in playing a PvP mode with it. But if somebody wanted to play a co-op, I would probably pick it up to play it, to just see what people are so excited about.
I'd play it again. I'll go through Dom's story again.
Now, see, don't get me wrong. If it gets revealed, I'm going to be very excited. I'm just bummed out, as well as apparently a lot of people. It's not just me. I'm not just saying it's dead on arrival just to give a hot take here.
Yeah, we call that the vocal minority.
Whoa. Calm down now.
I'm not sure about that one, but
let's calm down now. Let's calm down. Next thing I've got here. I want to shout this out is because it is sad news, but also like, hey, at least your series are getting a chance at life again. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and the Gex series writer Jim Curry has unfortunately passed away with an illness that he's battled the last 2 years. So with him going out the door and going off into the other life. At least his two series are getting a new chance at life themselves, right? Gex making its return with the trilogy this summer. The Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver got its like remaster of 1 and 2 like last year, I think. So big kudos to that. Big shout to that. See those older franchises get another chance at life. So I'm sure him passing away, he had a smile on his face in some capacity.
Unfortunately,
So,
Legacy of Kain's probably not getting a new game unless they're redoing a cast because the main voice actor for Kain is long past.
yeah. No,
Or not Kain. I forget the main character's name.
no. I mean, new game. I don't think so. But at least they got its remaster, right? Like that's cool. It's cool to see. The Sinking City 2 gameplay reveal on Kickstarter has launched. It's already tripled its goal for the Kickstarter. So if you're looking forward to that, continue to look forward to it.
I did not realize Sinking City had that big of a fan base.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I mean, I knew
That was my first thought when I saw this. Like, hey, what's the Kickstarter at? Oh, it's almost tripled it. Okay.
because I remember it had a fairly solid community behind it of fan base, but I was very much on the fence that it was a niche title.
Right. Let's see. Next thing. Until Dawn remake Studio Ballistic Moon is effectively closed.
Oof.
Rip. Unfortunate. Hate to see it.
So what happened to the remake?
I think it's just all everyone's in the boat. It was just like, why this game needed to get remade. Which, I mean, that is fair. I was excited for the remake, but that's fair. Very fair.
I was kind of in the boat of I don't think it needs a remake.
Because
But
didn't it just get remastered not too long ago?
No.
I could have swore it got brought up to.
it's been brought up multiple times, but it's never. I don't think it had actually been
A
remastered.
full-on remaster? Okay.
There was also a PS3 update. Just wanted to shut that out because it's just when I saw the news, caught me off guard.
I saw that as well. I was
when I saw the news, I didn't even see the news from like some other outlet that I follow. Like I was just scrolling through Twitter, getting doing my normal thing I do, where I retweet stuff for the show. I was scrolling through, and it was from PlayStation's account where it's like there was a system update for the PS3, and I'm like, I scrolled past it, I'm like, wait, did that say PS3? Like,
Everyone who keeps the PS3 updated just looked at me like, God damn it.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, what did that say? PS3? Did I read that right? So I don't know. Shout out. I don't know what the update was for, but shout out. There was also, but on the other side of things, Xbox's latest update for Xbox insiders specifically here, okay, is apparently removing user profiles and settings. Like it's nuking the console. Like, that's like worst case scenario that your console just gets completely nuked. So hopefully that gets fixed before for the Xbox insiders before that thing ever goes live.
All right.
Neil Druckmann says that Last of Us Part 3 might not happen, that the end could have already been reached. Okay. All right. Cool. I was in the mindset that Last of Us Part 3 was going to happen just because of money, and it's Last of Us money. That's it. From a narrative standpoint, you could do something. I mean, you could, with
even if it's not even Ellie and whatnot, you could do new cast.
Yeah, you could
in
do
that universe.
Yeah, you could either do new cast in the universe, or you could wrap up, Ellie and Abby's story in some capacity. Abby's going to do her thing with that kid. I can't remember his name. And then Ellie, what was her name? Dina? Mm-hmm. I don't remember. Whoever Ellie was with, she left Ellie. So I mean, there's other stories to explore, but I assumed there was going to be a part 3, and I still think there will be. Just money, like let's be honest, money. But if it's the end, all right, cool. Because Last of Us Part 2 sucked. I'm gonna say 4 out of 10. I'm gonna stay on that. Let's see. Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra is targeting a holiday 2025 release, according to a voice actor of the game. Which great. Looking forward to that game.
That's the
it looks fun.
4-player co-op one, right?
I don't. Is it 4-player co-op? I don't.
What did you say? I blacked out. What?
Marvel 1943: Rise of Hydra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because wasn't there supposed to be a Marvel game that was going to be a co-op with the Captain America Black Panther one?
This is the co-op. This is the Black Panther Captain America. I didn't think it was a co-op game though.
I didn't think it was.
I think it's just a single player narrative game. There's 4 players you play as.
Okay.
4 characters. Yeah.
I think the initial rumors that people were talking about was it was possibly going to be co-op. I guess I missed when they announced it was going to be a non-co-op game.
I don't know if there was an announcement or not on that. I'd have to go
because
back
I
and refer
remember
to it,
like
but I thought it was single player.
Because I remember like it was like the initial trailer was showed off Captain America, Black Panther, and then there was like 2 other figures we thought were just going to be like some agents or something people played as.
No, I mean the game focuses on 4 characters, but I don't think it's a co-op game. I'm pretty sure it was single player. Okay. I mean, this is Amy Hennig's studio, the creator for Uncharted and stuff. So I think.
I mean, they had a multiplayer on Uncharted.
Make it all co-op
no, let's not. Let's just
and
keep
live
it.
service.
No, let's not repeat Avengers, please. Let's not. Dude, I had a random video clip of Avengers come in my timeline earlier of the moment in the game where Tony's blasting off to space and he ends up finding Cap up there. And I'm watching this, and I played that game. I almost beat the game, and I'm just looking at it. I'm like, God, this was actually so much fun. Like, God, so much wasted potential on that damn game just to make it a live service flop. They would just focused it strictly single player narrative. The Avengers could have been so damn good. Disaster. Also, speaking of Captain America, Brave New World was very okay. It was a fun movie. That's my review, by the way. It was a fun movie. Shout out. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 has officially been revealed, coming 7/11. Shout out. Ubisoft's Far Cry extraction-based multiplayer shooter has apparently been rebooted. This was like an official announcement. This was not like a report. Apparently, it is a thing, and it's happening.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
I knew it was a thing. I just was hoping they'd let it die.
That's just one of those multiplayer extraction and Far Cry don't seem like they gel well.
It would work.
it could work.
Probably not
but-
well.
Yeah, not well though, but it could work.
I mean, it'd be better than New Dawn.
You know,
Yeah.
a few years ago when I said extractions were going to become more popular, this isn't what I meant.
I mean, it got hit with the same thing BRs did.
Yeah, but extractions never really popped off. There was like
No, they didn't pop off.
There's a
as
couple
hard.
that came up. I mean, they're coming back around.
Right.
It's just they didn't pop in the way that I expect them to.
Right.
It's still in the sort of niche style.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next thing. God of War's 20th anniversary signing event will feature both voice actors of Kratos, plus among other members of the cast. I saw a lot of people pretty damn excited about this.
I would hope so.
Yeah, that both Kratos are going to be there. But Sony Santa Monica did officially announce there will be no announcements at this. So the whole hype and the hope there'd be a God of War trilogy is now slashed.
It's just not being announced there.
Yeah,
Again,
it's
what
not
event
out.
is this?
The God of War 20th anniversary. It's like a big signing event. So both Kratos will be
Where?
there. Where I don't know.
It's just
A fun thing.
God of War fans come hang out.
Yeah. I think from the original games, the only two that were there were Kratos and Athena's voice actors. Other than that, like when I saw the cast, it was pretty much all 2018 and Ragnarok voice actors.
This has already happened.
It's going to happen.
I need to find out because I need Kratos to sign my copy of Def Jam Fight for New York.
You stop.
He's the same voice actor. It's the same voice actor. Current 2018 Kratos is the same voice
Christopher
actor.
Jobs.
Is the same voice as one of the main characters in Def Jam.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty sure we just shot this out on a weekly. Isn't that the same game that Sakurai helped out with? Is this the same game? I'm pretty sure
Yes.
it was. Yeah, he's got a special thanks in the credits. Shout out, man. Shout out. Oh, Nintendo Switch is officially 8 years old. How about that? But looking towards the future, though, per FCC filings, the Nintendo Switch 2 apparently will have Wi-Fi 6, NFC support, which means amiibos are back, as well as charging ability via either USB port. So just
Stop with the damn
random-
amiibos.
No, don't stop. I have too many.
They're
can't stop.
collectibles.
Yeah, I love them. I have a whole closet.
Don't let
full.
them die like
they're in a closet
Skylanders.
now.
Yeah, I'm trying to put them on display somewhere. Okay, I haven't.
Don't let
got
them
that
die
far.
like Skylanders, Nintendo.
I love the amiibos. They're great.
When's the last time you bought one?
Sora.
Which
Yeah.
was
When Sora came out for Smash, I don't remember.
Years ago.
Sora. God, it has been years since.
yes,
Sora
it
came out.
has.
Have I bought any other amiibos since then?
I hope not.
Did you do the Metroid?
All the Tears ones. I bought all 3 of the Tears ones. That came out like I think Ganondorf came out like last year.
Mm-hmm.
There was Link, and I think like a Rider Link or something that came out with the game release, and I think Zelda and Ganondorf came out last year. So yeah, like last year I bought amiibos. So fuck you, John.
Disappointed.
I still have your Luigi that you trained, and he's still a menace. So carry that with a badge of honor. Next thing I've got is Hideki Kamiya is still publicly calling out to Phil Spencer to make Scalebound.
Yeah, I saw this article.
Still begging to do it. Like, come on, man, let's do it. Let's team up.
I actually saw that article. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. Hopefully, that'd be great. What else does Xbox have to lose at this point? Just go ahead and do it. See how it goes.
with everything they got going on, it's like, yeah, just give some people, just let them have some fun.
Yeah, just go ahead and just do it. Go have fun. I mean, you just delayed Fable. I'm waiting for the next delay of Perfect Dark. Everwild. You forgot that game existed, right? What else you got going on? Just let them make Scalebound. Let's have fun. LA Noire boss is back with Rockstar after Rockstar acquired and rebranded his studio to Rockstar Australia.
Woo!
So potential LA Noire remaster in the future. Anybody? Going once, going twice.
I mean, we've already got a remaster.
Well, another one on current consoles.
Or, I don't know.
Just give us a remake. Give us
maybe
LA
a
Noire
new,
2.
maybe, a new LA something.
Yeah, give us something new, new noir of some capacity. I don't know.
San Francisco Noir.
Yeah, SF Noir.
New York City.
Yeah, NY Noir. CIH Noir. There's a lot of places you could go to. So, shout out.
Do a Midwest one.
Could do a Midwest one. A lot of possibilities. Would like to see it. So, that's all I had for the news. What else you guys got? You got anything else?
I got nothing.
All right, what about you, John?
No.
All right, Gamestetic Game of the Week. What do we got?
John.
Gamestetic Game of the Week. I've talked about this game a lot, actually.
Here we go.
Talked about it earlier, actually. Gamestetic Game of the Week. Old school RuneScape.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
This is what he said last time he was going to finally chalk up into the...
Old school RuneScape. I haven't mentioned it before, or I haven't brought it up at Game of the Week before. Perfect time to do it now. Like I mentioned earlier, RuneFest just happened. Whole host of announcements for content coming up. If you played it before, haven't played it in a while, perfect time to come back. RuneScape is... it's essentially a point and click, like MMO works, a big sandbox MMO essentially, where it's like questing is kind of unique from any other MMO. Skills are entirely unique from each other. We're also getting a brand new skill later this year for the first time in years. But RuneScape is a fantastic game. It's honestly become more and more popular every year so far, at least in the recent years, available on mobile as well. I got back into it a couple years ago, been playing it pretty consistently since then. And it is fantastic. It is constantly updated. A lot of people would look at old school RuneScape and think, it's a game from 2007 that it probably just has people playing it for nostalgia. It is no longer nostalgia. It is constantly bringing people from other MMOs in and becoming people's main game. It is, you can literally play the game however you want to. There's some people who have accounts that they don't do any combat or anything. They're called skiller accounts. All they do is train all non-combat skills. They have multiple different modes you can play, a main account. They have Ironman accounts where you can't trade with other players. You can only gather resources yourself, or and they also have hardcore Ironman accounts, and they even have stuff called Ultimate Ironman accounts where you can't bank and you only have your 28 slot inventory. So there's a multitude of ways to play the game. It really is the perfect choose how you play game. It's you can optimize and play as follow guides or look it up and try to play as optimized as you want to, or you can play how you want to. I play my way. I don't try to optimize crazily. I will much rather find ways to level up my skills and play the game in a more AFK sense rather than a more optimized sense, just because it's my preferred way. It's how I want to play the game, and you can play it however you want to. But this game is also, like I said, constantly getting updates. Every month there's 9-10 news posts about it, about potential changes and that. And like I said, perfect time to get into it. New updates coming. We got a year's worth of updates, or actually more than a year's worth of updates on the way. So if you've played it in the past and thought about coming back to it, perfect time to do it. If you've never played it before, might as well jump in. You got nothing to lose. They have a free to play way to play the game, and then it's membership based from that.
Yep. Shout out to RuneScape. Our friend Andy, his first tattoo was a RuneScape tattoo. He had, I think it's the cooking symbol he got on his leg. So shout out.
And then RuneScape does have 2 different games. Specifically, I was talking about old school RuneScape. They also have RuneScape 3, which is a little bit more modernized approach to like the same core game. And you can give either one a try. There was a video posted by the new CEO recently talking about updating both games and making them last for the next 25 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest. I've heard John talk about RuneScape since middle school, so I mean, another 25 years ain't nothing.
Right?
Yeah. It is a game that they are hoping to be able to play forever. As they say, you never quit RuneScape. You only take a break.
Love it. That is awesome. All right, another Gamestead game of the week in the books, man. Shout out to old school RuneScape and just RuneScape in general. Shout out. All right, let's hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Let us know if you've played FragPunk or Split Fiction, what your thoughts on the games are.
Yeah, do everything he said more. And if you like what you saw with us here, we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So you can come check us out live then.
Make sure to also check us out over at our Patreon where you can support the brand further. We'd appreciate that. Shout out to our tier 2 patron, Hannah. We appreciate you. As well as check out some Agent Inc., Sparky 3 Shop, and Rogue Energy with the referral links down below. Join the Discord. Be a friend. Tell a friend. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.